Are you a nurse looking to make some extra money or possibly to advance your career in a different direction? In this video, we're going to be discussing 3 ways that you can achieve your goals. So the first and easiest way to hustle as a nurse is to simply pick up extra shifts and work overtime at the current situation that you're at. Now, granted, this is not the best option for a lot of nurses, especially nowadays. A lot of nurses don't want to pick up extra shifts, which is why I want you guys to stick around to point 3, because I think that point will be more for you. But getting back to what we're talking about, initially picking up that extra shift is really the easiest way to make the extra money. This is also a good option for new nurses. If you're just starting out, picking up those extra shifts are beneficial to you, not necessarily monetarily, they are to make a little extra money, but also experience-wise, which is invaluable and worth more than the money. So putting more time on the floor, taking care of patients is really the best way your time can be spent as a new nurse, and really the most valuable aspect of working overtime and picking up extra hours, especially within the hospital, is really putting in that time at the patient bedside so that you can learn your craft and learn how to be a good nurse. So the next and easiest way to hustle as a nurse is really to look at management within nursing. Whether you move up within your hospital, move up into that assistant manager, or potentially even director of nursing, trying to move up the ladder. A lot of nurses also you'll see that they'll move from hospital to hospital or different job. And that's really a good way to increase your income as well, because when you change jobs, switch jobs, it gives you the opportunity to negotiate more money for taking that new job, especially now because the need for nurses is so high. Especially if you have your experience as a nurse, you're able to negotiate for a higher income within that hospital to pay you more. And when you switch from job to job, typically you can negotiate for higher wages and potentially apply for and receive those higher earning jobs, such as being a manager and doing those types of things. Now, that being said, again, most nurses aren't going to want to do this. I myself worked as a manager for a long time as well. I really don't like managing people within the emergency room is where I was at, and I don't think I would ever go back to kind of that middle management. But it is an option, and it's really good experience, and especially leadership experience if you're just starting out. If you get the opportunity to kind of step into those leadership roles, it's really good for you to learn those aspects of how to be a nurse and how to manage other nurses. And it allows you to be able to build on your career so that as you go further in your career, you're able to utilize those leadership skills to apply them to your future endeavors. So the third and honestly the best, I would say, way for a nurse to hustle, make some extra money, kind of do something that's out of the normal, is really to start your own business. And this is something that I'm extremely passionate about, and something that is really important to me. Is I feel like all nurses really should look into this, and I don't think a lot of nurses really understand how easy it is for them to create a business around themselves. You can literally start an LLC that is focused on you as a nurse, working under your own license, doing your own thing. And you can do this in several different ways. You can work as a private duty nurse, you can work as a nursing consultant, you can work as a home infusion nurse, you can start your own business and have a home health business. You can have a infusion agency where you have contracted nurses working for you that you're contracted with pharmacies or whatever agencies that need nursing. You can contract with them to provide nurses, 1099 nurses to them to make money in that way. There's so many different avenues that you can take by starting your own business and kind of working for yourself. And it offers the opportunity and the flexibility to, one, do what you want to do as a nurse, and have that availability to really interject yourself into what you want to see from your nursing career. It gives you flexibility to work on a schedule that is flexible for you, and it really gives you the opportunity to mold your career into what it is that you want it to be. The other big benefit of starting your own business, and something financially that is very beneficial for starting your own business, is it gives you the ability to deduct a lot of expenses that you normally wouldn't be able to deduct. By starting your own business, you're able to deduct expenses for renewing your licensure, for travel in some cases. There's so many different things that you can deduct as a business that you normally, as just working on a W-2 employee status, you don't have that option. So financially, starting your own business gives you a ton of tax incentives and ways for you to save money at tax time that you otherwise wouldn't have access to. Now, it's very important that you consult with a tax professional. I definitely am not an accountant, so I can't necessarily give you advice on how to save money on your taxes, but I can say that I have a nursing business and I am able to write off a number of different expenses and really kind of save a lot of money at tax time related to my activities related to my business. So the first step to starting a nursing business would be, in my recommendation, is to start an LLC for yourself. There's a number of different ways that you can incorporate yourself. You don't necessarily have to start an LLC to work as a business. You can technically work as what they call a sole proprietorship. But the problem is if you work as a sole proprietor, it opens up liability that if something was to happen while you're conducting business, then they can go out, people can sue you for your personal assets. If you create an LLC and work under that LLC, then that separates your personal assets from your business assets, so that if something, God forbid, happens where you're sued, then they can't come after like your house, your car, all that stuff. So I really do suggest, if you're gonna work as a business and a nurse for yourself, then you create an LLC for yourself, because there's a lot of benefits as far as liability goes to really work under that LLC. So once you've decided on how you want to operate your business, whether you're gonna operate as a sole proprietorship, you're gonna create an LLC for yourself, or you're gonna create some type of a corporation and incorporate, whether it be an S Corp or a full corporation, and you've made that decision for yourself, the next step is really to do some research on your market as far as what it is that you can do as a nurse. There's so many different avenues of nursing out there that nurses really don't even realize exist. And the same was said for me when I worked in the hospital. I assumed that I needed to work in the hospital to work as a nurse. And that's really not the case at all. There's so many different opportunities out there for nurses to do nursing stuff that's outside of being in the hospital. And that's really what it is for a business, is looking at an area that you want to work in or that you want to be a part of, finding a need within that area and then filling that need. And that's really all a business is. And that's what we're doing as starting a nursing business. The next big important part of creating a business for yourself and working as a nurse business is really networking. Again, the old saying is, it's not about what you know, it's about who you know, is true within the nursing field as well. So really leaning on those contacts that you have from working in the hospital, doctors that you've worked with, just really colleagues within your kind of professional career, anything that you can utilize to help sell yourself and help to find business is really, really important within the business community in general. Really kind of leaning on those network opportunities as well. So when you go to conferences, or when you go to symposiums, stuff like that. So oftentimes when you're starting a business, I know when I first started a business, I looked at it and I thought, man, this is gonna be really expensive. This is gonna cost a ton of money. I don't have a ton of money or capital to start up with, that kind of stuff. And starting a business or a nursing business for yourself really doesn't cost a whole lot. There's not a whole lot of overhead, depending on what type of business that you're gonna go into. I'm gonna use the example of being a home infusion nurse and infusing specialty medications such as IVIG, Remicade, some of those specialty home infusion medications. You can work for a number of different companies out there and work as a home infusion nurse on a 1099, so they're contracted with you to provide nursing services to patients for a pharmacy, and there is really no overhead for starting that business for yourself. Really, the biggest, most expensive thing is essentially having insurance to protect yourself if something goes bad. The insurance is sometimes the most expensive part, but even that, comparatively to how much extra money that you can really make, it's very small. It's minimal startup costs to the benefit of being able to do that. You can continue to maintain your job at the hospital, working your full-time job, having benefits, having everything that you need, and then splitting your time and working a couple extra shifts in your business instead of picking up those OT hours at your hospital or wherever it is that you work. You spend the extra time that you want to make extra money with on your own business. I'm very passionate about starting a nursing business, and I've started several businesses over the past 5 to 6 years, ranging from travel agency to photography to a number of different areas. But I will say the one area that I found most success in is nursing. And the reason being is because, I consider myself to be a very good nurse. I have a ton of experience in nursing. I really care about what I do. I really love what I do. And I put my heart and soul into being a nurse. And that's what having a business is all about, is really putting yourself into it and really loving what you do. And that is the best way to be successful within a business. So for me, having a nursing business and starting a business as a nurse, it just really makes sense because that's what I love. That's what I put my heart and soul into. That's what I really enjoy doing professionally to make money. That wraps up our video and the 3 easiest, best ways for you to hustle as a nurse. 1, again, getting those OT hours in, especially if you're a new nurse, that's great because you get that experience. 2, moving your way up through the ranks, getting that leadership experience and getting up into management. And then 3, and I would say probably the best way, is starting your own nursing business and the benefits of having that business and putting your passion and care and effort into something that really means something to you. Again, there's so many other ways out there for nurses to hustle and make extra money. And I would really like to hear anything that you guys have as a community. So please comment below. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and stay tuned because I'm gonna be putting out a lot more content in the future. And as always, guys, thank you.